All right. We are now joined by our race winner, Josh Berry, driver of the number 8 Chevrolet Accessories Chevrolet. Josh, we're going to go straight to questions for you. We've got a whole bunch queued up for you here. We're going to start with Matt Weaver.
Turn everything off mute. First of all, I've got to ask you, Josh, just because I had Noah tell me you were terrible at blackjack. How bad are you at blackjack?
They had to teach me how to play. That's a little embarrassing to say, but I had to learn. But by the end of it, we both lost money, so I guess we both lost.
But now, just how important, how big? I mean, the emotion is obvious, but how big is this for you?
I mean, it's unbelievable, man. It really is. I think you know me well as anybody. You've seen my ups and downs throughout my career. And, coming to a place like this, you feel more confident in yourself because you've been here. I've been here. I mean, look at the opportunities what we've had this year. I haven't seen any of these places or maybe one or two, but so I definitely felt more comfortable out here. I felt more comfortable about what I do as a driver coming to a place like this, but man, it's just still so unknowns. I mean, we don't have practice. We don't, and we've had some issues this year, Ben. Well, I mean, I've made mistakes, on restarts and pit road and things like that. And, we've made mistakes as a team. So as confident as you want to feel coming to a place like this, you still don't feel confident. And, even like I said, we fired off Friday, led some laps. I mean, it was great to kind of go home. And I do think that helped me kind of go home and think about some things, talk to Taylor. I talked to Dale, along with some other people, and talked about what I felt going forward. But then you're in a totally different day today. Now it's, the other night it was damp and cool, and today it's that hot, sunny, and tracks rubbered up and stuff like I'm used to. So I don't know. It's really going to take a while to soak this in. But, I think you look at me, I think a lot of people expected me to be good here, and I was. So that means a lot.
People don't realize that beyond driving the late model stock, you also run the program for JRM. So you've dealt with Sam and Anthony Alfredo and everyone who's come through that program. How often did you allow yourself to think as you were tutoring these drivers? It's kind of a scenario where those who can't teach, but you think to yourself, I can do this, I should be doing this. And does this validate that sort of mentality?
I think going into this opportunity at the beginning of the year, I felt that like I could do it. When I got this opportunity, man, I felt so ready. Coming off an amazing series, just an amazing season last year. But to be honest, man, I was scared I wouldn't win. I was. Like I said, we won almost 30 races, went everywhere in a late model, and then you come into this, and I'm 30 years old. I should be ready to win. And a lot. I mean, the only chance I got is if I win. So, I was worried about that. I wanted to win bad and improve myself. And I think, this is a big day for a lot of people. There's been a lot of people that have helped me along the way. Too many to name. So I know that they're all really excited about this.
Thanks, Josh.
Thank you.
Next, we're going to go to Bob Pockris.
Yeah, Josh, I mean, just how confident were you, over those final 40 laps? You had the lead, you were in control, but did you feel as in control as you looked?
I felt pretty good about it. When Ty got around me, I was a little bit worried. Like the run before, we fired off really good and kind of built a little tight. And I think, Taylor made a small adjustment there that it fired off a little freer. But, I think in his eyes, he was hoping it would come to me, and it did. But Ty got around me, and then I started running him back down and turned a little bit better. So I kind of had to root him up off the bottom and go. And I had a good gap, and then it's just trying to stay out of trouble with the lap cars and everything. And the tires are hot, and the brakes are hot, and there's cars everywhere. So I mean, confident. I don't know. I felt like I was in a good spot. I had a good gap that allowed me to be patient and not panic. But I don't know. I still was waiting for the caution or something to come out.
And if this win does present some opportunities with other teams next year, maybe a truck ride, if somebody looks at it, I mean, how do you evaluate it? I mean, do you jump at any sort of full-time national series deal? Do you have certain standards that you would want a deal to have?
I don't know. And that's going to be a conversation that, we'll have later on. I mean, like I said, I'm 30. I really can't wait around for much. If opportunities do present themselves. And I don't know if I'm in the playoffs. I don't really know how that works. If I have to get a waiver or something like that, I don't know if that's even an option for me. A lot of people asked me that when I got this opportunity, and I didn't. I kind of said, well, I got to win first. Well, I won. So I don't know how that changes anything, but I don't know, man, going forward, we're just going to celebrate this and see what happens. I would sure hope that this would open some opportunities, but you never know in these times.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Bob.
Next, we'll go to Lee Spencer.
Thank you. Josh, talk to me about what it means for a short track guy, a guy who's run a local track for most of his career, to have a benefactor in his corner like a Dale Jr., because you're a standout talent, but there's guys like you at a lot of tracks across the country that never get this opportunity. Can you put it into words what it means? Because we have this discussion every week. I cover a lot of dirt, and these, there's great dirt track racers who never get a shot like you got from Dale.
Yeah, no, for sure. It was just, Dale gave me, Dale basically brought me to North Carolina and gave me an opportunity to run a late model that I never thought I would have. I didn't have any family funding or anything like that to really race beyond running a legend car at the National Fairgrounds. He's always believed in me. And as we had success, more and more success, I think he has a great appreciation for that because he's done it himself. He raced late model stocks at all these tracks that I'm racing at. He had to work on the car himself. He had to drive it to the racetrack. He had to make decisions on how to build it and make it faster. So he understands what, even this is 20 years down the road, he still has a pretty good understanding about what it takes to race at the level that I do. And, prior to this opportunity, a couple of days, and actually, when I did his podcast prior to this announcement, I didn't know at the time about it, but just the appreciation that he had for me and what I had accomplished. He said I could just see it in his eyes and see it in his voice of how proud of me he was. And I never knew that this opportunity was coming, but I knew that for him, he always says he doesn't know how it could get any better. And then now we come win this race, and now I know I've just been very thankful to be here a long time, and they just value my work ethic, and keep giving me opportunity to race.
What does it mean to realize this dream? Because it's, and especially having all your friends, family in the stands. It's got to feel a little surreal to you right now.
It is. Like I said, it's, I was more confident coming here because I'd been here before, but like I said, that didn't really mean a lot. I still had never ran an Xfinity car around here, never ran this long race, and all the difference in conditions and everything's so different that, you want to be confident, but you can't let your guard down. You got to keep working. You got to keep thinking. And I had a good feeling about it. I really believe in Taylor and his group. They work very hard, and they're very deserving of this win. And, I believe in them. We've had fast cars, and I think we knew that as a team coming here, that we've had fast cars. We had a really good fast car at Phoenix. We had a really good car at Atlanta, and just things happened and our race kind of unraveled. So today we executed. Pit crew was great. Was able to maintain track position. Taylor called a great race, and we were able to stay up front.
Appreciate your time. Congratulations, Josh.
Thank you.
Next, we're going to go to Jacob Seelman.
Thanks, Steph. Josh, congratulations. We know, and obviously it's been well documented how special this place has been in your career. If I'm not mistaken, this was your first time back here since you won the late model race in 2019. Was there any of that, any past knowledge that you were able to use down the stretch to help make this happen? Because I couldn't help but think you were working traffic there in the closing laps, kind of like you did with the late model a couple years ago.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, I've got a lot of knowledge of, short track racing and here, and I think, even with all the difference in conditions, we were very confident, and I was very confident in myself of what I thought the track would do and different things that we needed from the car. I watched the race back yesterday, and I heard them. They made note that that we applied some stuff for the late model or whatever. And that was kind of, I mean, there was a couple ideas maybe that we talked about, but really this was Taylor's car and Taylor's deal. And he brought a fast race car, and that makes it a lot easier. I just had to manage it and be smart.
And what are you going to remember most when you look back on this? Has it even sunk in to be able to think about that yet? I mean, is there anything that stands out, or is it all kind of a whirlwind at this point?
I don't know. It's just, it's so different. Even when I won here and in the late model car, I mean, that was huge for me just personally, because I just know how hard, like everything we've talked about, I just know how hard it is to do this and how big of a race that was. So that was like a huge weight off my shoulders, just as, when it comes to my career. And then today, I don't even know really what to think. I mean, it's just I feel really, I think the late model race was more for myself. And today it's more about everyone that's given me these opportunities, like Dale and LW Kelly, Mr. Hendrick, all these people that have had a part in my career. There's too many to name. And then all this 8 team, they've just been a great group. They just have a lot of respect for me and what I've done to get here. And, throughout all the trouble and different things that have happened, they have not questioned me one bit or anything I do. I know this is a big day for those guys as well.
Next, we're going to go to Dustin Albino.
Yeah, Josh, congrats on the win. The broadcast said that you had talked to Dale in Victory Lane. I was wondering what was said in that conversation.
He was emotional, for one, which I expected. I mean, I think we both are, and I feel like this, the reality of it is that he stuck his neck out pretty far by giving me this opportunity. I mean, when it comes to the financial part of racing, this was not the safest or smartest. And so this is a big day for him. I mean, he believed in me and believed that I could do this, and to see that, to see the commitment that he made to me and giving me this opportunity, pay off. I mean, that's a feeling that, I really haven't experienced yet. I've seen, William Byron. I've coached William Byron. I mean, I remember him being, taking his first laps in a stock car and seeing him become a cup driver. I felt things like that. But, to make the commitment that he did with his race team and the finances of it and everything to bring me here, I don't know what he's feeling. He's just excited. He told me to soak it all in, celebrate however I want. And, he just wanted to see me, talk to me soon, talk to me again.
Thank you, Josh.
Yep, thank you.
Well, speaking of your car owner, we actually have him here on the line with us. Dale Earnhardt Jr. has now joined us. So we will open up to questions for both Dale and Josh. And we will allow the screen to go back and forth. I'll remove the spotlight from Josh here and I'll go back and forth. Next, we will go to Andrew Kurland.
Yeah, this question's for Josh. Congrats on the win. You kind of mentioned working with this 8 team and Taylor Moyer, and in conversations I've had with him, he says this is a very tight-knit group. So what's it like been working with this 8 team and then working specifically with Taylor to start off the 21 season?
I really enjoyed working with Taylor and that whole group. Taylor's, really we're similar in age. We both want to prove ourselves. And he's believed a lot of me. And like I said, they've had a lot of just misfortune. I mean, Taylor's worked with a lot of different drivers, and quite frankly, had a lot of bad luck and, things happening, and they've always picked themselves up. And I love that about them. They never have questioned me. They just work hard. And I know after Atlanta, we were all beat down, but we knew we were coming here. We knew this would be a good shot, and they got a good shot at it. And I'm just so happy to get those guys a win. They deserve it so much. Like I said, I really do. I'm so thankful for them and believing in me and all their hard work.
Thanks, Josh.
Next, we're going to go to Jordan Bianchi.
This question's for Dale. Dale, watching the final laps, take me through what you were feeling, and then when you saw Josh take the victory lane, what you thought.
Well, I was watching it in the basement, down by the pool, and Amy was outside working on some new flowers that she's planting. And I'd been going out there and between watching the girls and all that and telling her how Josh was doing. And then with about 20 to go, I've got to where I couldn't watch it anymore. With about 5 to go, I was kind of peeking. I'd walk outside with Amy and was kind of standing out there peeking at the TV every once in a while to make sure that they were still under green. I was afraid I didn't want to have a late yellow for anybody to beat on the back bumper too hard. And then with 5 to go, Amy was like, well, I'm going in there to watch it. And I said, I don't think I can. My heart was beating so fast. I'd never felt that way about a race, even when my dad raced, even when certainly when I raced, I'd never been so nervous about a finish. But finally, I think I peeked around the corner when he was getting the white and saw, you don't ever want to see a yellow come out right before the white flag. And he got the white, had a pretty decent lead. So I finally got to where I could, look at the TV screen. And that was kind of our experience. We cried some happy tears. And the reason why that's so emotional is because this has just been such a long work in progress, and it's took a lot of years to get this to this point. And I think I'm not saying anything Josh doesn't know. We just weren't sure whether we'd really ever get the chance to give Josh enough opportunities. We gave him a few here and there, and getting a shock the world kind of win in those one opportunities that come along every once in a while are tough to do. And but we had a little string here of over a dozen races for him to run, and I thought, well, maybe we can have something special happen during this span. I wasn't sure exactly what special was going to be, whether that'd be a win or not, but he just drove an amazing race. Taylor and the guys did a great job giving him the track position and a great race car. And it just happened. It just happened. I can't believe it. And these are the highest of highs in motorsports. This sport can take you really, really down. It can lift you way, way up. And this is one of the highest days that I've experienced. We're having some good stuff happen with junior motorsports with the 7 cars win, and Noah and those boys ran great today. So we got some good speed in our company, and all the things are happening that we want to happen. But this win with Josh is just, I can put it right up there with the things that I'm very most proud of in racing. And even though we weren't there, right? We kind of trade off. NASCAR only allows, I think, 1 owner per team to be at the track, and Kelly and the LW were going to go this week. And so I didn't go, but it didn't matter. Emotions and the feelings and the joy all are the same, whether you're watching it on television or there in person. And our whole house was in tears today. So it was a great day. Great thing to see. I'm just happy for Josh. He's worked hard, and he's beat himself up a little bit about over how things have been going over the last couple of weeks. But he'll get hard on himself and get frustrated, but he'll also turn around in the next moment and say, I got this under control. My head's in the right place, and he'll go out there and do what he did today and perform. So he's got a lot of experience, and that really helps in the ups and downs of racing every week.
You've won a lot of big races as a driver. What is the feeling compared to that to today when you've got somebody that you've supported and pushed and advocated for in victory lane?
Winning as an owner versus a driver is so different. As a driver, there's some personal accomplishment there for sure. And Josh is certainly feeling that, but you're part of a team, and you're part of you're a piece of a machine, and every piece has to work together for the win to happen. And so when you get out of the car, you really feel obligated and responsible to share that, share that acknowledgement and joy and with everyone that made it happen, right? So that's the way it feels when you're a driver. When you win as an owner, it's just different. I don't, you certainly are proud of the company and everybody that's a part of it. But you're looking at it you're looking at it from 40,000 feet instead of standing on the ground. When you're an owner, you're just seeing it from so high above, and you're looking at it a lot more big picture. And I can see the whole career. I can see Josh's whole career in front of me and how we got to this moment. And so there's a lot more emotion involved. Whereas when you're a driver, you're just up and down week to week. You win, you turn around, now you got another race to run, and it's just you're in and out of that, that emotion of success and failure. But as an owner, you look at it from in a big chunk of time, not day to day. The wins are great, but the success and stability of the company over a long term is what's really the key thing. But so it's different. It feels so different, but there's so much pride. I've never cried like I cried today over racing, anything I ever did or anything my dad did. I don't know why that brought that emotion out of me, because I've never experienced that before. But I just wanted this so bad for Josh, maybe as bad as he's wanted it. We just, Kelly feels the same way. LW, my mom and Willie and everybody that's had a big role in Josh's career over the last decade or more has wanted this opportunity for him, because we know he can do it. We know that he belongs in the Xfinity series, and we know that he's got the ability to win and succeed at that level and move on up to the Cup level someday. Just he doesn't have that financial support that he needs, and we're still working real hard to try to secure that for him, and hopefully things like this make a difference.
Next, we're going to go to Seth Eggert with Kicking the Tires.
This question is for both Dale and Josh. How much does this win validate the amount of faith that you have put into Josh to get him to this point?
Well, I was talking to LW. At one point, the late model program was LW's responsibility. That's my brother-in-law married to Kelly. And when they got married and started spending a lot of time together, I basically asked LW to take over the late model program and manage that. And that was, Josh was a part of that. And eventually LW moved into junior motorsports, and he's a big contributor there. And Josh has now taken over our late model program and sort of manages that program himself and the young drivers that we have coming through it. But so LW has been a part of Josh's career and this process for a really long time. And we we sacrificed a lot as a company to do this with Josh this year. And this moment today by far made that sacrifice well worth it, without question. I'll never regret, the burden financially that maybe we might have created for ourselves, and we'll work our way through it. And we already have a financial budget and plan that will succeed this year. But we had to sacrifice and do some things that we probably typically weren't comfortable doing in the past. And it's absolutely, without question, now worth it, right? Before this win today, we were all frustrated. Josh was frustrated. We knew what we were capable of. Josh ran up into third place at Phoenix. I don't know that he didn't have a shot to really win that race if it played out a little differently. So, I mean, he's had some great speed. We just weren't really getting the results, or more importantly, the recognition, right? Turning heads. That's all we want to do, is really turn people's heads, the important people's heads, right? Corporate America, Cup Series owners, and anyone, with some influence in the sport. And so win like today really makes that happen. And so, yeah, the commitment financially to do what we did with Josh this year is absolutely paying off.
And this is also the first win for the number 8 under the Junior Motorsports banner. The last time it went to Victory Lane was with Chance 2. How significant is it for you to have the number 8 back in Victory Lane?
Well, I mean, numbers kind of, I don't know if it's for Josh. I'll let him answer it as well, but I didn't know if you were going to take that one, Josh, but
I didn't know either.
so, numbers are numbers. Josh was number 88, and now he runs the 8 on his late model car, and we hadn't even talked about that. That's just what he just chose to do. And, so the numbers are kind of important. It's nice to keep them in the fold and in the family, but there's pride and equity in that. So, I don't know what that means to Josh going forward. For him and his career, he'd probably run whatever number you tell him to run as long as he's out there running. And I feel pretty much the same way at this point. The numbers are important, but just being out there and in a car that you can win in is really what we worry about most.
Yeah, I'll add to that. The number, to me, like, racing is about people. And that group, no matter what the number was, like, I just know the group and how hard they've worked and the ups and downs and everything that they've had over the course of, their experience together, kind of since they brought that team together. So, it's just about the people. You just want to succeed for them. And, like we said, we moved the numbers and stuff on the late model just to kind of correlate, just to, I don't know, just for something different, a change, something new. But I'm just really excited for Taylor and that whole group because they deserve, all the success that in the world.
Thank you.
Next, we're going to go to Deb Williams.
Thank you. Congratulations. This is for Dale. Dale, what did you see in Josh that made you want to give him this opportunity?
Well, Josh, Josh worked really hard. He's won a lot of races for us. I had a late model program long before Josh became a part of it, and Josh has been a part of it for over a decade now. But we ran late models for a long time. And even when I drove late models, I just never had a competitive late model team that was winning week in and week out or dominating a single track or winning track championships or able to really go anywhere and be the car to beat. And Josh has turned our program into just that. We go everywhere we go. If you look at his, statistics recently, everywhere we go, we're if not the car to beat, we're definitely one of the cars to beat. And we typically have been able to accomplish those goals and win those races. And the fact that, I just know how difficult it is to run at the local level and how challenging it is to stay to be able to maintain or sustain any type of success there. And he turned our program into something I never dreamed it would become. And especially most recently last year, winning the national championship. I never dreamed in my life of winning a national championship at the local level. That is such a challenging thing to win. You're racing against the entire country. And so a lot of you're racing against faceless, nameless, you don't know these people that are competing in all these regions, right? When you race in the Xfinity Truck Series, Cup Series, the drivers, the competitors, you can measure up against the competition. It's so different at the local level to on the national stage. But anyhow, he has helped us groom a lot of young talent. And Josh himself personally has watched that young talent move on into the Truck Series, into the Xfinity Series, into the Cup Series. He's continued to support them. He's continued to show pride in their accomplishments because he feels like he's a part of their development. and a part of something that helped get them there. But he himself has not been able to enjoy or experience that same rise through the ranks. And so we just never were going to stop or give up on the idea that he might get that opportunity. And so, we would love more than anything to get him into a car full time. I think that he has still not reached his prime. I mean, at 30 years old, he still has 15, 20 years of great ability left in him, if not more. And I think that he's one of the best free agents on the market. And I hope that we're able to continue to put together a program to keep him on the racetrack and keep him at Junior Motorsports. But, I want to see him succeed. I want to see him racing and winning. And we just never were going to give up on that opportunity or that idea of that being a possibility. So it's been a long time to get there. But I just knew he could do it. And especially in the last probably 3-4 years. I mean, he is just automatic in our late model program, and his mentality is his veteran sort of mindset that he's developed, especially over the last 3 years, is really going to benefit him in the Xfinity Series now and moving forward.
Thank you.
Yep. Thank you.
Next, we're going to go to Lee Spencer.
Thank you, and thank you for joining us, Junior. I asked Josh earlier what it meant to have a benefactor such as yourself behind him, and my question to you is, since you take such a big world view of racing, and despite the pandemic, because I know economically it's been a true challenge to motorsports, but how important is it for guys such of yourself and stature to find the Josh Berrys at the local tracks and bring them, or at least not, I won't say bring them to prominence, but give them an opportunity to at least show what they're capable of accomplishing?
Well, I'll just say that I've not been able to do that very thing as much as I would have liked. And if I feel like that, if anything, that I've not hit the target to get Josh this opportunity. I wish that we were able to do this years ago, and I feel like, yeah, it's great that it's happening now, but I feel a little bit of responsibility for it not happening sooner. Like, what could I have done differently? What could Junior Motorsports have done differently? Was there a way that we could have moved some pieces around to make this possible sooner? And so I don't, and there's a lot of drivers and people that I've seen in the past that I think could have become a Josh Berry, or they were a Josh Berry, and we weren't able to help them. So it's really frustrating when you have cars and there's just a lot there. My dad would tell me, my dad would say that, there's only 40 or 43 guys out here on the Cup Series every week, but there's thousands of drivers across the country at these local short tracks that belong here, and they'll never get the opportunity. They'll never have their name called, and that's frustrating, to know that, there's so much talent out there that will never realize that opportunity. And so as an owner, there's a constant sort of frustration. And I think that every owner shares that a little bit. Anybody that owns a race car, especially in the top 3 series, they don't have enough cars to give out as many people that deserve these opportunities. But I'm glad we stuck with this idea that Josh could do it, and that we needed to continue to try to find a way to get it to work. And so we can be happy today, but we turn right around after today and we have to go back to the racetrack and try to win again and continue to turn heads and continue to create more opportunities for Josh. And we've got young late model guys that are in our cars today and will be in, and guys that we don't even know, have not ever even met, that are going to be in our cars tomorrow. And we're going to try to continue to groom young talent. I know that's there's a lot of pride in that with Kyle Busch Motorsports and several other drivers. Brad Keselowski took a ton of pride in being able to do that with his truck team. And so I think a lot of the drivers and car owners certainly feel that responsibility. And you just get frustrated by not being able to create more opportunities than you can.
Is Josh Berry somebody JRM could build a cup program around?
Yes.
Well, with the new car coming in, me and my sister have certainly talked a little bit about whether that presents an opportunity for junior motorsports to go into the Cup Series. I think the charter system makes it a big challenge for us. That's a huge financial challenge for anybody trying to get involved in Cup Series. But Josh would absolutely be a driver that I'd look at if we were going to build a Cup program. But I'm just trying to get us into a full-time Xfinity program with Josh. I'm just trying to get him into the Xfinity Series program where he can continue to prove himself. And if Cup Series is in our future, maybe Josh is the driver that helps us make that happen. But that's thinking pretty big all around. But we used to say never going into the Cup Series. We love where we're at, and Xfinity Series is a great series to have a lot of fun in. You have days like today in the Xfinity Series, and we've got a great business model for that. But the new car certainly had us. The new car forced us to sit down and have a conversation about whether we were missing an opportunity, I guess, to go into the Cup Series in the future.
Appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we'll go back to Matt Weaver.
Hey, Dale, thanks for making time today. You had a press conference at Richmond in 2015 or 16, where for a solid 13 minutes, you had applauded the value of Josh Berry and why he should be here doing this. And despite doing that, 5 years later, you still haven't been able to put that full-time deal together. We have this. So I'm curious, what difference does winning a race mean for the next conversations you have? Is this a significant change? What has been the challenge, and how can you turn this into whatever that next thing is going to be?
I was just thinking about that very moment while I was answering a question a few minutes ago. And I was really curious as to what that night might produce in terms of opportunities for Josh. And it didn't live up to my expectations, and I was disappointed in the lack of interest in working, in us putting, someone coming on board and helping us with Josh and doing more with him after that night. But we soldiered on. Josh went back to work, and with the opportunities we had on our late model program and the partners that we have there to continue to race and continue to go out there and keep himself relevant. And we've done things since then in the late model program that I'd never dreamed of. And I think not only did I think about that moment just a few seconds ago, but I've thought about it a few times in the last few weeks. And especially after winning today, I don't know what that means as far as whether the phone's going to start ringing next week, or whether there's somebody that's thinking, man, I'm looking to get involved in the sport, and this may be a great opportunity for me if, as far as a corporate sponsor. So I don't know. I don't know what a win means to the world anymore in terms of creating opportunities and partners. And I'm optimistic. I'm always going to try to stay optimistic. And we were able to put together a half a year for Josh. And this gives us an opportunity to try to piece together more people to maybe get a full-time deal going. And we'll just have to we'll just have to hope and be optimistic in that becoming a reality.
Think so.
Yep.
Next, we're going to go to Mitchell Brewer.
Dale, with all the success that you've seen with junior motorsports over the last couple of seasons, how confident are you with the current lineup at your team?
I'm real happy with it, really, to be honest with you. And it's been a lot of fun working with Michael and Ned over the last couple of years. And I've always had this sort of dream that, Michael had this, there was a better Michael and Ned in there, a guy that could compete for top 10s and even top 5s on a regular basis every single week. I knew that he almost got there when he was driving for Petty Motorsports. And I knew a little bit about that team, enough about that team to really kind of be impressed with the performance that he had in that program that year. And so trying to build his confidence back up, trying to get him physically and mentally where he needs to be successful has been a good challenge. And he has worked hard to try to get to where we want him to be. And he had a great relationship with Travis Mack, who's since moved on, which we're very proud of Travis. But we made some changes and brought in Bumgardner, and I think that that's a great combination, and it seems to be working really well. They haven't really missed a beat on the performance side, but just trying to keep Michael's head in the game is part of it, and I think every driver is that way. Noah's been a fun challenge. Kelly really seems to enjoy trying to help Noah along and help Noah understand what he needs to be doing. He's kind of a bit of a loose cannon in a fun way, but sometimes it can be a bit of a challenge. He had a great run today, and we know what he has we know what he can become. He's got the speed, he's got all the essential things that you really can't learn. He's got that raw ability. He just has to mature as an individual, which we all were just like that when we were 22 years old. So I'm trying not to be too hard on him, because when I do hear his age, I think, oh my God, I wasn't even anywhere close to where he is at 22. So, I think that, just having patience with him is part of it. And he could surprise us this year and go out there and finally get that championship. Justin's been sort of my old trusty veteran that is just Mr. Dependable. Him and Burdett have always been kind of the faster car in our system on a consistent basis. Now, Dave and those guys will outrun them every once in a while or have the better car some weekends, but Burdett and Justin are always just dependable. And Jace Allgaier will get out of sorts every once in a while, riled up as most drivers can do, but he's easy to sort of calm back down and help him sort of see the big picture. And he's kind of the veteran that really need. You got to have that kind of veteran mindset that some of these young guys can lean on. And then, in that 8 car, we've had so many different drivers in it over the years, and it's been a lot of fun trying to give people opportunity and like Jeb and Truex, and Josh and Sam. So I know Sam's chomping at the bit to get an opportunity to drive that car. And especially after today, seeing the car go out there and win, it's got Sam pretty excited. So we're looking forward to what he's going to be doing the rest of the year. But it's been every year we go into the season we go into the off season with a lot of questions. We don't have all our deals done. We don't have everything together. We got a lot of questions, and uncertainty. But you get a few months under your belt into the season, things start to make sense, and you just try to find that speed and performance. And right now we've got some good speed and performance, and we're winning races. It's hard to win races.
Thank you, and congrats to you and Josh.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we'll go to Stephen Toronto.
This is going to be a question for Josh. Josh, you mentioned in Victory Lane how this win shows that guys who are out there running short tracks can get it done in NASCAR if given the opportunity. When you think about some of the guys you've run late model stocks against, which of your competitors at that level do you think could perform at a very high level if they got the sort of opportunity in NASCAR that you've gotten with JRM?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of them that I think about. There's a couple. Lee Pulliam comes to mind. He's a multi-time winner here and several national championships. There's all kinds of guys. I mean, it doesn't have to be late model stocks. I mean, you've got super late models and modifieds and dirt cars and everything. I mean, when I got this, Dale really put it best when he kind of said that, in a way, this was, last year, that like I'm carrying the frustration of, myself and a lot of these guys knowing that you deserve the opportunity. So it's hard to say, it's hard to say who can do it and who cannot, and even someone like me that's had the success that I've had, today was a big deal just for myself, just being able to accomplish that. Like the start to this season hasn't been ideal, and you just gotta believe in yourself, and sometimes you get these opportunities, and this happens. You've seen it before. We've seen it. This is one of those days. I remember being a kid and watching these people get their first win and out of nowhere, and today that day is me. And I can't believe it.
Thanks, Josh. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Next, we're going to go to Marty Zakala.
Thanks, Steph. Gentlemen, congrats on the win. I got one for each of you. First, for you, Dale. Josh was quoted earlier in the week when asked if there was progress or momentum towards new sponsors. And he said, no, not really. What does this win do in terms of sponsorship?
We don't know. You just never know how energized this might make your current partners or someone new that was possibly watching the race today, or a partner that's currently already involved in the sport, maybe tied into something else, maybe not another team, but an official sponsor for NASCAR or something like that that's looking to get on the side of a race car. So you just never know. I will say this: it's been a long time since I've gotten this many text messages, and it spans the entire industry. It's not just family and friends. It's coming from all corners of this business. So a lot of people saw what happened today, and I think a lot of people are very thrilled and excited about Josh, and they know his story, and that there's some momentum, and you try to capitalize on that. I think that Joe Mattis at Junior Motorsports, Kelly, and myself, everybody else will sit down this week and try to find out a way to capitalize on this opportunity and momentum. We'll just let Josh continue to go to the racetrack and do big things, and hopefully continue to showcase what he can do. And hopefully that presents some genuine interest. And Tire Pros and a few other people are already getting involved in this program that weren't part of it at the start of the year, or they weren't in the conversations earlier when we sat down with Josh to even form this deal. So it's already starting to benefit us a little bit from that standpoint, and hopefully, obviously, a win will continue that momentum.
And then, Josh, I want to ask you as well. This is your second clock you've won. Any thoughts of where you're going to put this one in the Berry household?
No, not yet. We had this. Me and my wife had this conversation. We were like, "Where are we going to put a second one if we win?" And I don't know. You never want to. You never know. I just can't. I can't believe I have one, let alone two, and one from the Xfinity series. It's a good problem to have for me right now.
Thanks, guys. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
We're going to go back to Bob Pockrass.
Yeah, this is for Dale. I know it'd be a long shot, but do you try to lobby NASCAR for a waiver if you find a way to get Josh in more races?
I can't even think that far ahead, Bob. I know I saw somebody ask you that on Twitter. I can't even think that far ahead. I just want to try. Our goal is just to get Josh into the Xfinity series full time. That's all we've been trying to do for all these years, and that's what we continue to focus on. That's all I worry about. The opportunity to to compete for a championship or anything like that is not even in the back of my mind. I just want him at the racetrack and running, and I never really was a big fan of the waivers. I feel like, there shouldn't be any waivers, but it's not my call. So, but I haven't even considered it.
Thank you.
And we're going to wrap up with Joe Pastero.
Hey, so I have two questions, one for Josh, one for Dale. Josh, do you have any plans outside of Xfinity and late model once this stint is over halfway through the year? Any more truck starts under your belt?
No, really like that truck deal come apart. Really just a friend of mine, Lauren Ranier, the driver, Chris Wright, had COVID. Lauren kind of helped put me in the right, get me in that opportunity. And, it's no, that's the answer. You never know. That might change. You don't like Dale alluded to, you just never know what tomorrow could bring. For us right now, we're going to enjoy this win and soak it in and as a team and enjoy what we've accomplished together as a group. This is like a family to me. Everyone at JRM is like a big family to me. So, we're going to celebrate and enjoy this. And luckily we got another week off to absorb that a little bit more and look ahead. I always wonder about that. I always wonder, like I said, I am 30. I have a young daughter, and I think about it, what should I do with my, with the rest, the rest of my life? Do I keep racing late models? Do I keep doing this? Those are things that constantly go through my mind. And then you have a moment like this, and it could change everything. So, like I said, I'm looking forward to celebrating with them. I'm so glad that we got this done, and it's a huge weight off all of our shoulders, I'm sure.
Congratulations. And Dale, so you get a lot of questions about expanding into Cup, but has there been any thought of expanding into trucks? I know a few years ago you had a team with Cole Custer that did really well, and maybe give drivers more opportunities.
Yeah, that would be awesome to have a truck team that we could bring drivers out of the late model program into a truck and then into the Xfinity program. If that was, if everything was working the way it's supposed to work, it would, in a perfect world, you'd have a car in every, rung of the ladder all the way to the top in the Cup Series. You'd have a way or a path for drivers to, develop through a system. And that's, I think, why we partnered or have formed an alliance, if you will, with GMS. Is that's a place for our late model drivers to go into a truck program and continue to develop. And if they are, successful there, they can then come back into the Xfinity program. So I think, they feel that responsibility and that void for us. Racing in the truck series was fun. And, but it was just a little quick, program that was a part of our existence, and then it was gone. And the purpose for it wasn't necessary anymore. It just had served what it was there for, and to continue in Cole Custer's development. And then when he moved on, the program, we didn't have a purpose for it anymore. So I think it's really all about your business model. And we have developed one for what we currently do in the Xfinity series, and we make that work, and we survive. And to build an entire separate truck team, we'd need inventory and the initial investment. We'd lose money that first year to get all the parts and pieces that we need. And so we would need a real commitment from the manufacturer and a partner over a 3 or 4 year term to be able to make that type of first year investment. So, and I'm not even, Kelly could speak more about that if ever given the opportunity to ask her, but she could really open up on why we're not in the truck series. But as the racer in me would want to have a car in every series to have, just be racing, just to be out on the track and competing. But it's really what comes down to making financial sense.
All right. Thank you both. Congratulations on your performance today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we're actually going to have one more follow-up here from Jordan Bianchi, it looks like. Go ahead, Jordan.
Dale, I got to ask, I'm following up on something you said earlier about possibly owning a Cup Series team. Are those discussions tabled for right now? Is that still something you're exploring? And how realistic is this down the road for JRM?
Well, I mean, we're not deep in the conversation about it. It's just when the new car comes out, I think you have to ask yourself, is this something we need to, is this a moment for us to consider if we would ever get into Cup? Is this a time to look at what we're doing and see if that makes sense? So me and my sister have just had some really short personal, conversations about it that haven't really developed into anything strong. And but it would be, I think it would be irresponsible for us not to at least look at what getting into Cup now with the big turnover of the new equipment, new race car, what that means. Does that, because getting into that series is so hard. The money that you're going to need and require to race there and be competitive more than doubles, really. So we don't have anyone that's we don't have a partner right now that's ready to make a commitment like that. So that definitely keeps the conversations pretty short between me and Kelly. But I think you have to stop and ask yourself, with this new car coming along, it's irresponsible not to, I think.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
All right, Dale and Josh, congratulations on the win today. Thanks so much for taking the time to join us after the race.
Thank you.
My pleasure.